RFI, RFC, request for comment, request for information, on a story of clear text source code hacking. St. Louis Post-Dispatch reporter Josh Renaud warned the Missouri government that the Department of Education website, DOE, I'm sure it's different, exposed Social Security numbers or other information about teachers, and it may have been up to 100,000 teachers. Could have been much smaller, obviously. And the quote you see is that it's clear text or source code. The newspaper delayed publishing this report, gave them time to take the website down or fix it and protect the information, and allow the state to make sure other websites that they run didn't have the same problem, because maybe the same contractor that worked for the state wrote that page and many others. Who knows how many? Now, the first thing that would have come up in my mind if I was informed is tell them, dear newspaper company, don't tell anybody even a vague idea of what page it is, because we have to make sure archive.org, which automatically would archive these pages, didn't archive the pages and get some of the information. Because if you're claiming it in the source code, it would fill up the text of the source code. You wouldn't see it on the screen, but it would be buried in the source code. Now, I can bring up a reason it should never be there. Obviously, it just shouldn't, but how it could get there, or possibly how it was never there, and this is an oversimplification on purpose by the newspaper, and maybe by the governor himself lying to protect people. The state would have to check all of its websites that were done by the same contractor to make sure it didn't have the same error, whatever it is, whatever it really is. At the same time, it'd be necessary for the state to tell anybody, we can monitor you visiting the site, and if you do the trick that gave you the information, we will log you and go after you. But saying that means that people will proxy up and maybe get away with it. Next, they have to contact archive.org and say, you have to purge every record of our websites, all of them. But we sue you or you do it now. Just do it. We have had a data breach and it's in the source code. Purge them. They'll do that because they have to. I mean, that for 100,000 teachers' sake, of course they do. And even places like Archive Today, which is a gotcha website, we archive things that people did that they don't want to have ever seen, and websites that tell you not to archive them. And they would still purge it because it's 100,000 people being injured accidentally by them archiving something because someone wanted to save a copy of a teacher's syllabus blank page so you could type it up or whatever, because teachers' resources are on these websites too. And therein lies the next problem. Unnecessary security versus necessary security. If the website says, oh, you can access these teachers' resources that anybody can get a hold of because they're boilerplate paperwork for how to do up a syllabus, training information, but we're going to make you go through password and login. Okay, that's unnecessary because if it's available information that anybody should be able to read, unless absolutely necessary, don't make someone type in a password to log in on your website. Don't ever do that. Yes, that's a hint. Next, none of this information should be technically capable of being visible to anybody visiting the site under any conditions. Even an administrator shouldn't be able to just go to the website, type in a magic password and log in, and get access to all of the teacher's information. That should not be able to happen. If I log in as a teacher and I have credentials because I'm a teacher, that doesn't mean I have rights to anybody else's information. This is a major failure on a base level where the governor and everybody else would have been told, if this revealed that information and all anybody had to do was view the source code, that means the website is grossly liable. As in, it's almost like the website's trying to give out information. Or maybe an admin or a rogue administrator or geek or contractor just did it and left it that way to screw everybody over. Or maybe it was hacked because a virus got into it. Now we get to the next level. Yes, it's a Republican governor we're going to be talking about. He's in the title. Yes, he might be having all of the Trump-level behaviors of when he's bent over a barrel. He says, grease it up good! Every, bravado-based, dumb thing to do that makes a person look not dumb, but aggressively stupid. A moron. Or maybe he's being clever. 66-year-old Missouri Governor Mike Parson and amateur meme claimed this was converted and decoded. You shouldn't have told anybody anything like that. Called the newspaper reporter a hacker, threatened to prosecute him, and may have given away exactly what happened. No, it wasn't decoded or converted. No, it wasn't really hacking. But it obviously couldn't have been just source code, because even OK Boomer here would be able to figure out that that's not true. Politicians are notorious for being incredibly stupid. Donald Trump telling you to take hydroxychloroquine is stupid. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's a fucking moron. No, he didn't take a doctor's advice. He took a witch doctor's advice, literally in one case. This Mike Parson is trying to prop up his ego and become famous and act like he's doing something. Okay. Or he personally signed off on the contractor that fucked this up. He's either partially responsible and is flipping out, or he's doing this for bravado and publicity, or all of their services ran through a server that broke and began revealing the information. They have to fix all of them, which means he's really angry, and he didn't like that they published it early. That's a legitimate complaint on his part, if he said that. That's not what he said. He said the guy hacked. Next, he's trying to get people to think it was hacking because it was obviously something easier. Or it was worse. It was something very easy, like literally viewing source code, and he's trying to convince people that you had to hack in some way. This could be a smokescreen on the part of the governor to twist people around so that they won't even look up the archives. And I guarantee you, archive.org will flush it faster. So will Google, Cache, and Yahoo, and everybody else immediately. You just send them a notification every page, just erase it. You don't have cases for shit. That should have happened. Don't surgically remove it. Make it blank. We never existed. I mean, literally. AdWords dead. Everything. Just fuck it. That's what you're supposed to do. Or they can't. Because it's not going to do any good. Next. It was ridiculously easy to do because someone in the background fucked it up, but the governor's playing games and fooling people. Next, it could be the governor taking it personally because he might have signed off on the company, or it was some glad handing the company got this as a sweet pork barrel job. I don't know which one it is. Now let's get some reality here. When I log into my banking information on my bank website, there is no way in hell I should be able to view anybody else's data. And I guarantee you, if you're not aware of this, you need to be aware of this. 100,000 teachers' personally identifiable information can be compacted down to a couple of megabytes. It could go right that way. You wouldn't even know it was part of the web page. It could load the whole thing. I'm not kidding. A database can be compacted that small and be transmitted that small using ordinary text-based compression, be 100% recoverable, and download fast. The internet has been doing text-based compression for databases for years. For video games, all the way down to literally databases. Some websites at one time would respond by assuming that your IP address that you're coming in from and other details gave you automatic credentials. A long time ago, that was very common. And if you started typing in your name or your email address, it would put a drop-down up or assume that that was you. It sometimes would bring up in the background all the different accounts it could be to narrow it down instead of just waiting for you to type in the password and log in and hit enter, which is what we do now because that's how the system's supposed to work. It should never anticipatorily assume anything about anything you're typing while you're doing it or even after you've typed it. It should check it only when you've finished filling in your login and password. Only websites I've seen that would try to predictively do any of that got caught doing something stupid because some internet providers like AOL would give identical credentials to make it to where you all looked the same, which means you'd start typing in your email address and it might put a drop down of hundreds of email addresses you could steal and send spam to. Once websites figured out that that was happening commonly, it became normal practice that you never do anything like that. So it's not a drop down. But how could someone essentially get a database dump? It's only 2 or 3 megabytes, let's say, compressed, but how would it be sent to them? It wouldn't. The only way it could be there is if somebody clicked a button and it dumped them to the database. The website is authenticating you. Maybe you type in a password and login. The claim here by the governor is that he converted and decoded something. Not that he typed in a login and password or gave fake credentials to get in, which sometimes works. If you're a teacher in the state with other teachers on the same server, you might be able to accidentally crash it out to the database system, and it might let you read it. Unless he's sitting there typing SQL code or something like that, or some damn thing, this shouldn't have been able to happen. Now, I want to point out something very important. This will be the last part of it, but unless I get some other responses about this, this has been out for a few days, so I only covered it today. Nobody's explained this fully. That usually indicates that something ridiculously stupid was done, or someone on the inside deliberately made it part of the website because it was small enough when you compact it, and that's how it was discovered, which means it's a rogue employee or an incredibly stupid contractor, and yeah, all of their websites could be compromised by either of them. Either malicious behavior on the part of somebody as a parting gift, or a company that was run by somebody truly stupid. You might want to look through the tax procurements to see who signed it off, Governor Parsons probably, or whoever, and see who is held responsible for this. This may be a massive data leak. Because if it dumped teachers' information, the other websites might dump all of the citizens of Missouri, or maybe adjacent states, because they have to have other information. Who knows what else? None of that information is being proffered, but the drama is being pushed forward so that we can see it. It's become a meme. Maybe Mike Parson's taking it on the chin because that's better than people digging too much. And I guarantee you the archives are going to be erasing, if they're smart, every goddamn bit of file. You don't want to even be able to find out what company did this, because you might say, what about other websites? So, some point of fact information. Any website that says you have to type in anything even resembling a password to log in, or your email address and your name so you can get the newsletter, is always a security issue. Why would a website even bother doing anything vaguely like a login and password unless they want to be sued? Local library I went to wanted you to type in a password and log in. Okay. I didn't. They said, why aren't you doing it? And I said, why would you allow a person to have any form of escalated privileges on a network unless it was literally life-threateningly important? I'm not getting anything out of this. I just need to use the internet access, and I use the barcode thing, so I don't ever type anything. Why would you want me to do that? Why wouldn't you just base it on the card slot thing, and I have no information to type in? We want you to, take a survey, and no, you don't want me to. You do not want someone coming to your website doing anything even a little bit personally identifiable in any way. There is no money in it that's worth a lawsuit. What if I come in with a barcode card or a magstripe card like it was, both of them were on there, and it got a virus in it? Why would you allow anything that could break your system? And then I reminded them at the public library that their system had been hacked exactly that way 6 months earlier. Why would you keep doing something that you haven't patched? You're an idiot. We don't need to respect you. Next thing, if you want to make a website that's secure, I guarantee you any website that takes a credit card and provides something that people want kept completely secret will be written by people who normally have a better idea of what security is. I'm not talking about your bank. I'm talking about porn sites. The average admin that runs a porn site is incredibly paranoid, and is appropriately so. Your bank, my bank, won't let me use a strong password. It won't. It won't let me use a secure password. It just won't. It wants to have plausible deniability so it can be hacked by brute force over a period of hours, only a few hours, by the federal government. That's what they told me. Last, I don't believe Mike Parson could be really that stupid to blame the guy this way. I'm sure this is song and dance, but if he is, you should fire him. He's grandstanding, trying to get famous for it, and is doing the Trump maneuver of doing and saying things on purpose that are completely stupid just so he can look like he's being persecuted for being stupid. I don't think he's being stupid. I think this thing is even more stupidly, badly screwed up than they're letting on. And I hope they purge everything very quickly. Other than that, if you have any data from Missouri or any other state, you might want to learn how this is done by contacting the St. Louis Post-Dispatch and asking them, can you give some technical details to my state, please? Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that. Please give me the info if you have it.